Well, you need to scoot over a little bit because
I'm
on top of each
I'm
other.
center, right? You've got to come in.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm the side. Like I could go right here.
No, I know, but I'm saying you're very far out compared to it's not balanced, is what I'm saying.
Okay, we can do it like this.
This definitely, are you sure you don't want to move over?
No.
I know. I don't know why Dylan won't move
Because
over.
I'm perfectly centered.
But you shouldn't be
But there's
sure.
4 of us.
No,
It'd be great if there were 3 of us and you're perfectly centered.
Yeah, but Mason, you're not moving. I'm perfectly centered, so these two need to move around me because I'm the focal point now at that point. Well, listen, we've got an end, and unless he matches the
We
end,
got 50 minutes.
Right.
Dead air.
Yeah, well, don't worry. Well, there's never dead air with Dobby.
Dead air.
Give it time. All right. Can I get a clap sync on 2?
Do you want to wait for Caesar to finish his dinner, or?
I'll wait.
He's done.
He actually is done
You
now.
only have
Okay.
an hour. Chop, chop fast.
Oh, we got
An hour.
56
an
minutes,
hour
probably.
to talk about an hour 40-minute long children's movie.
based on our normal thing. This should
Look,
be about
I'm just
45 minutes.
I'm just saying, we run over.
all right.
We do.
Okay, everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay.
He's still swallowing dinner.
You good,
Sneezed
C's?
into the water.
Good job, buddy. Welcome to another festive episode of the F Movie Podcast.
This will be coming out at Christmas.
Yeah. Is Dobby drinking water now?
He's like blowing bubbles into it.
Yeah.
He's breathing into it.
Yeah, is that what
Yeah.
is Dobby just... I feel like there needs to be like a...
I just heard bubbling noises.
Yeah.
For sure.
I was like, I don't know why I'm hearing liquid bubbling, but from a dog, I'm very concerned. That's the noise that's being made.
You drowning yourself over there? bud?
Yeah, sometimes we just,
Who are we, though?
Waterboard ourselves.
You introduced the podcast, and then we got sidetracked.
Welcome, we're the F Movie Podcast. We're your hosts, Price, Mason, Nathan, and Dylan. Not in that order. And Dobby. And on today's episode, Price, what are we talking about?
We are talking about the children's classic Paddington 2, starring Hugh
Classic.
Grant.
This came out in 2018.
Oh, it's a classic. Wait till you see the Rotten Tomatoes score, buddy.
I mean, listen, that doesn't make it a class. I mean, modern classic, debatably, but it's not even been 5 to 6 years.
It
so-
will be.
Okay.
People are going to talk about Paddington 2, then Jurassic Park. That's how it's going to go.
Okay.
Sure. You know what?
So I'm quickly curious. Has anybody seen Paddington 1?
No.
Yep.
Okay. Does this actually pick up
Yes.
Yes.
story-wise?
Okay.
But like
Paddington 1, just to give a little tiny bit of preface, is like...
Yeah.
Basically, he was trying to fit in with the family that you see in Paddington 2. The entire movie was just him getting into shenanigans,
With
the
the-
bathtub, and all kinds of different stuff around the house.
And the neighbors not liking him, too.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
obviously
entire
that-
neighborhood.
Right.
Not, like...
But he's won over the
So all
neighbors.
that
Yeah.
added context definitely does make it make more sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
The
there's-
way they all feel about him.
Right,
And
everybody
how
loves-
100% on board. They
Yeah,
are
because
with
he's
him.
new. That's what I was telling y'all. Like, you really don't have to see the first one. The only thing you have to know is that he's new to the neighborhood. They didn't like him, including the family, and now everybody loves him.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think so that's an easy headcanon to kind of pick up on if you haven't watched the first one for most of it, because you're just kind of like, this is a very charming fucking bear, So obviously, if I'm in this neighborhood, I'm just like, I mean, come on, Paddington.
He
right
washes the windows with his body and
yeah.
just shimmies on it.
So I can get why everybody loves him. I don't know about if it was you, but I was like, but why does this one guy hate this bear?
Yeah, there's got to have been something in the first.
The
Right.
Doctor Who guy.
Yeah, the guy who I kept thinking was Hugh Grant, but wasn't Hugh Grant.
I can see that.
Yeah,
Early on, I was
security
like-
guy or whatever.
Yeah, he felt almost like the same guy. Anyway, not the point.
Self-appointed security.
Yes.
I don't know what
The
happened.
neighborhood watch, dude.
But what happened in this movie?
That's literally your job.
You were queuing me up for it?
Yeah.
Because we were just going on.
No, I know. So tell us what
Okay.
happened in this movie.
What happens basically is Paddington is anticipating, it's Aunt Lucy's 100th birthday, and he's wanting to get her a great present. One of his friends runs an antique shop, and he sees a book that just captures his attention and imagination. And he basically says, I want Aunt Lucy to experience London like I do, and this is the book to do it. And the antique guy's like, it's $1 million. It's
$1,000.
Paddington's like, well, I guess I gotta do some jobs. So he tries to get the money. You see Hugh Grant eventually at the fair. He's a basically ex-celebrity who's trying to get back on top. He's a con man, and he finds out about the book, and it leads to treasure, and he steals the book and
Framing Paddington.
just goes on and frames Paddington, and Paddington goes to jail.
No, he goes to prison.
Sorry, he goes
For
to
10
prison.
years.
10
for,
years.
For what I would say is probably petty theft. I mean, well, no.
It
'cause
was over 100
It was
bucks.
evaluated.
Or
It was valued at 1,000, but
pounds.
that's
Yeah.
still. I mean, under
Yeah, I don't know where the line.
Under
You can
three.
start pressing charges after like $500.
And also, this is Britain, so,
So you know
laws
what?
are probably
This
different.
this just reminds me. There's no place like London.
Oh,
And we're back.
I was wondering.
oh my god.
It turns out London hasn't changed very much from
Sweeney
from
Todd.
Sweeney Todd to
Alley.
Paddington. Everybody's still corrupt and awful, including the judges.
I know, they sentenced this poor bear to 10 years, and they didn't even find the book
Oh,
on
hang
him.
on.
Whoa.
Because he got into his first shenanigan, buzzing off the judge's hair.
Yeah, we didn't
Which,
talk about the Harry Marmalade because
Yeah.
the judge came in and got an inappropriate buzz from Paddington.
so I'm gonna start us off here and
Yeah.
say that, like, in the first movie, the one thing that I disliked the most were all of these, like, insanely crazy situations that he would just keep getting himself into, and it was so cute. Oh my gosh, look at him. And this movie does start out with that, with the shaving of the judge's head, and I was actually kind of worried because I thought it was just going to be an extension of that.
So it kind of starts off super slapstick, like
Yeah.
Three Stooges and like Charlie
Yeah.
Chaplin
Yeah.
kind of style.
That's seriously how
Classic
the first one
comedy
is.
style.
Yeah.
Where it's just like these dumb scenarios that just keep getting worse because he keeps like cranking the scale up, you know, and then they get worse and worse.
like he doesn't stop to take a beat.
No.
He just keeps trying to keep going.
He just keeps putting
As-
gas on the
yeah.
fire as
Right.
they go. But
Well, he's a
luckily-
child. I mean,
Yeah.
if that situation was happening, that's how a child would do it. They're not going to say, like, I'm going to take a breath, mediate for a second,
Yeah.
Sure.
collect my thoughts.
True.
No, he's a child. Just be like, I'm going to try to fix it
To be
somehow.
fair, that's something that kind of gets a little hung up on me because it's like you know.
I mean, he's a child, but he's not treated like a child.
Right, he's not treated like one. He goes right into the workforce. He goes to adult prison, and frankly, there's a bit of this like. Now we mentioned being a child. I'm like, yeah, he acts like a child, but this bear could be like 30,
50 years old.
50.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But he's still a bear.
But he
and
looks
and he
cute.
speaks with like
Proper cute British.
Yeah, like he speaks as though he's an adult
Yes.
in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so like something that I think is interesting as only Paddington 2 watchers, I'm like, you know, now that we're asking, what is the definitive age of Paddington in this film? Because
It doesn't
Old enough.
matter.
no,
Old
it
enough
matters.
is the answer.
It doesn't matter. He goes to prison at the end of the day. That's
So
he's old
over
enough for that.
over
He
over
gets-
18
he gets
by our
tried-
standards.
He gets trained as an adult.
Corrupt judge.
Yeah, corrupt judge. That
That's
could have been
why.
a child that he went to adult prison.
Okay, but anyway, Mason, do you have a point to finish with the slapstick stuff?
No, I was just worried at the very beginning of this movie that it was going to be an extension of the first
Yes.
one, in which I did not super care for the first one. I thought it was kind of charming, kind of fun, but I did get tired of the antics
Yeah.
in the first Paddington.
I'm glad you mentioned the antics because I was starting to feel the same way on watching with this one. So without having a background of Paddington 1, I'll say that I'm like, I've always heard this is so delightful, and just seeing like Paddington get into like shenanigans, I'm like, okay, I could see that being delightful, but I could see
For
that.
some,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could.
didn't.
but I didn't
like
want to
how
see
this
that for
movie
too long.
started,
Yeah,
for sure.
This movie kind of has a questionable
This movie
start.
was on rocky ground out of the gates.
Yeah.
but it did get better.
Right. So
it didn't spend too much time
It-
on that barber shop and like so on.
yeah, if,
Well, and like the whole slapstick stuff going on with like trying to clean the windows and like
body,
putting
yeah.
a rope up.
Oh, see,
and, like,
I love
The
that
ladder.
montage.
So-
I think there's a difference between the slapstick where like things are getting like really bad in the montages because like the music numbers that play during them, I thought those were incredibly charming. Like with him cleaning the windows and like with the song, and then they incorporate the band who's singing the song into
Over
it, and
and
they're like,
over.
on the
yeah,
window.
so that part,
I love that.
that's where it like actually shifts to getting better because like up until that point you're getting like just like chaos, bad things happening, sort of stuff. And you just think like, is it just going to keep being this way?
Right.
But he hits his stride with the window washing thing, and that recovers it from what was going on up until that point, which was just like things going really badly and chaotic all around him.
I would say there's a point for me where it's like right at window cleaning. Pretty much the moment he opens that suitcase and get that cute little stair like ladder
I love
going
that.
at the
out.
end of the movie?
No, at the beginning.
Oh,
Whenever he's
the
doing the
beginning,
window cleaning,
okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
From like window cleaning little cute ladder out of the staircase to right as he gets out of jail, or prison rather, is peak of the movie.
So I'll say the moment that I was concerned for this movie was when the bucket falls and it has a hole in it and it starts leaking, and I'm just like, it's like how many of these am I gonna watch where things go bad for him?
Yeah.
And you're supposed to feel bad
Is
for him.
this also just the most
Like,
unlucky bear?
And you're supposed to keep doing this.
Yeah.
But I'm not, because
Exactly.
I'm like, I just want things to be okay.
I
for
want
this
things to
dude.
happen.
There's no
Right.
reason for things to just not be okay.
What kind of weird torture porn are we watching of Paddington if we're just watching this very adorable thing suffer for like
For an hour.
how
and 40
long,
minutes.
right?
Yeah, for him to just like never get down about it.
Right. Yeah.
It's like that. I don't know. I don't like that vibe.
Mental-
The fact that actually shifts is good, because I was very
Yeah.
worried that there would be like 2 or 3 more
Yeah.
rolls of the dice with a job before things actually got underway.
tiny.
But fortunately,
Yeah.
we got to the Hugh Grant
one's gonna be
framing
an
and his like crazy, disguises and whatnot, which definitely set it in a better.
And I was kind of wondering, like, as that hit, like, are we going to end up being more interested in this guy than in Paddington? And what's
100%.
going on with him?
I still love Paddington the most. He went to prison. I don't think we've
Yeah.
talked enough about that.
We'll get to
that. Is
prison.
amazing.
We're not there yet.
No, I
We're
know
not
we're not
there
to
yet.
prison, but I'm thinking like I thought that solidified him as best character.
The bonds that he made in prison. Were
Real quick.
Uh-huh.
Did anybody else feel annoyed after the fact of the movie, holistically, that the book is £1,000, and I am certain you could get that bear there for less than £1,000, like actual to London, versus getting the book that's £1,000 and then giving it to her and being like, look at where you never went.
So, I mean, I guess you could say, like, in the framing of, like, a childlike mind,
Yes.
that's not the kind of thought
Yeah.
process
No, that's not.
Bear has.
It's a minor grievance, but for me, it's like as I was recalling.
Like, the bear just saw the perfect gift
Yes.
and was just like, oh,
Yes.
well, that's what I gotta, okay, that's
it.
what I gotta take.
It
No
doesn't.
other option.
It doesn't affect my score, but it was one of the things I noticed on retelling because like Hannah missed like the first like half. She comes in right around prison, which is a great spot to come in.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
she was like, "Wait, so what's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, so he's trying to get this book for his aunt, and it's like £1,000. And why doesn't he just send the money to her to get to London?" Silly little bear. Anyway, so and then just kind of skipped on to it. But it was a moment I thought back on. I was like, oh, Paddington, you silly boy.
So Hugh Grant finds out about the book, wants to go steal it, and then
Starts
there's
Hugh Granting all over the place.
And then there's that huge chase scene with him, with Paddington riding the dog and
Yeah.
chasing
And
after him
riding the
through
goose.
town,
And riding
the
the
goose that
goose.
starts biting him.
Yeah, because that's what geese do.
Because that's what geese do. Hate geese.
And then Hugh Grant just goes,
yeah,
disappears, poof, and he's gone. And I'm like, huh. I feel like we've really undersold how talented Hugh Grant is to be able to pull that off. And then the cops, do what the cops do,
do they have guns trained on him?
Oh, absolutely.
I thought they did.
They were, listen, and then London? This isn't America. That makes
Yeah.
sense. We don't bat an eye at that.
So
but
they, don't London police have, like, machine guns?
yeah.
Like,
I
they
don't
have, like,
know.
They have
small
MP5s,
yeah,
like, yeah, like-
they don't have, like, a pistol. They
No.
have a machine gun with, like, a shoulder
Because the
strap.
only time that they're gonna allegedly use that is to be corrupt
In
at all
real
times.
circumstances.
Yeah, at all times it's gonna be corrupt. But yeah, in real circumstances though.
Yeah.
So Paddington almost dies several times in this movie. But we'll get there. Anyway, so Paddington goes to prison, and that's, frankly, for me, the movie really leaps into the game on that.
Well,
one.
yeah. Once you met Knuckles, I'm sure is when
Yeah.
you were sold.
Brendan Gleeson, of course.
Of
like-
course.
Did anybody have closed captions?
I did.
I did not.
I had to.
So Knuckles was spelled like the Sonic Knuckles.
Yeah.
Yes.
In that,
Yeah, uh-huh.
even though like whenever he showed,
Even though it
It's
shows
what
this
they-
way, and it's
spelling,
spelled
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Which is actually a funny joke in on itself, because it would make sense that Knuckles would not even spell Knuckles right, like, on that one.
I love, like, I know it's another, like, it's just a minor slapstick thing, because, like, it really isn't a long
The laundry
thing. When he
trope,
does,
isn't it?
when he does the laundry and accidentally throws the red sock in there,
Yeah.
and then he tries opening it, and he's like, well, it's just one red sock, what'll it
Yeah.
do?
And
And then it just
holes.
hard cuts to all the prisoners wearing pink,
Pink, yes.
and they're all just sitting there, like, staring at him, like, wanting to kill him.
Mhm.
Which I do think was another like positive, because it didn't stay on that for too long. The laundry scene was just
Yeah.
very quick, witty, very
Yeah.
fun, and like you said, it was just a hard cut.
Mhm.
It's all we need.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's move it along.
Mhm.
We don't need this bear stumbling over his own detergent and slipping up and pouring bleach into everything.
Yeah,
Like,
it definitely could have gone
Yes,
that
it
route.
absolutely
It could
could've.
have spent like another 5 minutes in the laundry room
Yeah.
doing slapstick.
yes.
The idea for me that he goes in there and you've got this one guy very specifically that's like not saying directly but saying indirectly, "You're gonna die, bear." It's very funny to me given the circumstance. And then when they introduce Knuckles and he goes over there, this is absolutely the best moment in the movie for me. He goes over and the way he just talks to Knuckles.
When he's like this food is bad. Has anybody ever talked with the chef?
And then they're like,
you
"Oh,
don't
you don't talk to Knuckles." But it wasn't even just that. Yes, the like lore buildup of Knuckles is great, but like every part of that interaction is fantastic. The little boop from the bread, I audibly was like, and then he squirts ketchup on him, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know how to get that out." I went back on that scene, and then Hannah was like, "Wait," and then he put it's like mustard, and he's like, "Oh, that's actually just making it worse."
He's like, "Was it mustard?"
Yeah, and it's just rubbing it on his belly. I'm just like, oh, Paddington, you little menace, you.
He's like, "Yeah, you got anything else to say while you're, criticizing my food?" He's like, "Well, actually."
Yeah.
He just keeps going.
And that's when the warden's calling is like,
Actually make it a
SWAT
priest.
team. Actually make it a priest.
Yeah. Delightful. Yeah, that whole scene and Knuckles' relationship.
Well,
very,
because
very
that's when Knuckles like tries to grab him and Paddington ducks and
Yeah.
he gets the sandwich and it just hangs in his mouth.
Yeah.
Which I think now is a good time. I think we do need to mention that.
We haven't said marmalade once this review, by the way.
We have not said marmalade once, and I was about to go buy some and have everybody try it because I don't know if it's that good. But
I have
anyway,
mango chutney at home. If you want
Marmalade's
some.
pretty good.
I don't want your chutney.
It's the same thing.
I don't want
Yeah.
Mason's chutney.
Mason's chutney.
But I'm telling you, this movie, like, it does. One of the biggest praises I have for this movie is that, like, it's kind of what Mason alluded to earlier, that there are so many times where this movie could have just leaned into it just being a kid's movie and just farted out the door. But, like, there are so many cool shots in this movie, and it uses color so well.
And animation.
And, like, the animation, and the storybook scene where, like, it's showing him how he's imagining seeing
Storytelling.
Aunt Lucy and stuff. Like, they put so much effort into this movie, like with the music and the sound. Like, the music and the score were both awesome for this movie. It was almost like a Ghibli one. It's not that good, but it's close, which is very high praise for me. And, like, there's so many cool shots, like I said, with the prisoners, like with the color, I don't know. There's just so many cool shots that this movie does when it didn't need to. Even just Knuckles grabbing the sandwich and the sandwich dangling from his mouth with it focused in on his face with the background faded behind him. It's just really cool.
I think there are some moments that I kind of wish they did a little bit more of as far as, like, showing off Paddington's fur in general, right? Because in the beginning of the movie, he touches the electric bulb thing, whatever those are called.
Oh, yeah, and,
and his
stands
fur
on
gets
end.
all, like, fluffed out, right? And even whenever, in the barbershop, whenever he's spun around with the razor, and it's just,
And he's twitching.
and it's just, like, showing the fuzz bouncing around. I'm like, I'm so tickled by the little textures of it. Now that's
They
probably
spent some time on it.
yeah. Now to be fair, that's probably absolutely the hardest part to animate.
I feel like
Of it.
fur tech is really advanced.
The hair
these
mechanics
days.
with it. You think
Yeah.
we're just taking the game engines and Unreal Engine 4ing it? Like,
I mean, Rocket Raccoon looks pretty good in Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah, but how often do we
He's
see
just
Rocket
big.
Raccoon wet, fluffed out? You know, like going through the ringer.
Yeah.
Sometimes, not a lot though. It's base Rocket, and we get a lot of base Paddington. And the times they did show it, I kind of was missing it on the tail end.
His fur underwater looked really good, too.
Yeah, it did look good.
At the end of the movie. But anyway, Knuckles and him become friends, and we all really enjoyed that.
And we all loved the journey up until what if they forget about little
All right,
Paddington?
can I ask
Yeah.
a question real fast?
Yes.
Okay. This is mainly directed at maybe Bryce and Kelly, who is off screen. She hasn't said a word.
She wouldn't know it. She's
she won't
right
talk.
She won't speak.
There. She's
We
spoke
have
to people
asked
all
her
day
to be
today.
on.
So, I have heard from the grapevine that this movie maybe has a tear-jerking moment.
Oh,
or
that's not
makes
till the
you
end of
cry.
the movie.
Okay, well that was my question because when?
No, okay. So when is the tear jerking?
Yeah.
moment? I would say there's two.
There's definitely
Yeah,
two.
Yeah.
There's at least two.
The point
thought-
I was,
wait,
there's
I
a
was just
very
about to reference.
We all know there's two, but the Dear Zachary fanatic over here
Uh-huh.
apparently can't spot
I
it.
can see one, but I think the other
Okay,
one's
All right,
cheesy.
which one do you see?
Yeah,
as the
where do
tearjerker?
you see him, Mason?
I mean, neither, but I could understand maybe the end
Okay.
more
Aunt
so.
Lucy.
The underwater.
No, the train.
Yeah, the one
Right?
where he's
Fall
about
through
to be
the-
left to drown.
Okay, that one. Okay,
Yeah.
where's another one?
The cheesy one to me was, buddy,
When
they're
he-
gonna leave you in
When he
prison.
thought he was alone.
You'll
I
never
agree, that
get
one,
come
like
back
him
for
crying in came
law.
home and it's just like, come on.
I didn't
Get
even.
the
I didn't
fuck
even
out
pay
of
that
here.
one.
One day.
Okay, good.
That
I
didn't,
wanted
that
to
didn't
make
pull
sure.
on my
That was
heart
mine.
at all.
Yeah.
Oh, it got you?
Yeah, I didn't cry for it, but it did hit me more emotionally than.
And they tried so
I would
hard
say
because
that,
the
and then
family
the
was
train
like,
touch right here.
"Oh
Yeah.
my god, we
We
forgot."
forgot
and then it just
Paddington,
shows him, like,
but then it
sitting
shows him
alone.
and he's so sad,
He's
and
a-
that damn bear is so
Oh
cute.
my God.
Kelly's agreeing with me off screen. I want that on record.
There's 3 scenes then.
Okay. What's the third then?
At the end when they all Lucy.
With Aunt Lucy?
Oh,
gets
Lucy.
there?
You mean how the
so
story should have
good.
happened all along?
See,
That's Aunt Lucy.
that's-
She's crying again.
it's wholesome.
I love this movie.
I feel like if Lucy didn't make an appearance
Just didn't
in this
make it?
movie, like we were gonna be cheated no matter what.
She dies at 100.
Like,
She
that's what I'm
went
saying.
plane right over
Yeah.
They're like, we brought Aunt Lucy and it's her casket.
It's her urn. Sorry,
Yeah.
Patty.
You've been
She's
They
a
had the
100. What did
budget
you
left to
expect?
animate
Yeah.
more for her.
Listen, you were in prison for a long time, Paddington, and then you were asleep for 3 days, and it was day 2. If you had just woke up a day sooner, you would have caught her.
Yeah, so that was just my main question because I was sitting here thinking, I was like, well, hang on, I don't know which one would have actually like been the one, but I don't. At the end of the day, it's still the kids' movie. Dylan said it off camera earlier best because he said ever since Toy Story 3,
Yes.
these
Oh my
movies
God.
are trying to just
Kill these cute
destroy
characters.
you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know.
We're leaping to the end right now. We're not
Yeah,
talking
we're
about the
all
Alright,
over
yeah.
the end
So
here.
to recap, narratively speaking, on this riveting story, Paddington breaks out of prison with Knuckles and the gang.
Oh, that
Very Wes Anderson like, by the way.
Oh,
For the
yeah.
record, there was
Right?
many parts of this that feel
Yeah.
like
There's
right
a-
around here that feels super.
there's a
Wes
part I want
Anderson.
to talk about before you get there,
Yes.
and that's when the first time the family comes and sees Paddington in jail, and they do the call or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And,
no.
and like,
And
and like, this is
that
my
that
friend
was
Knuckles.
Wes Anderson like.
And then this is
Yeah.
my friend here. Hey, this is my friend here. Hey.
Yeah.
No, he was like,
All
here's
credit.
Mad Dog.
Right.
And then he's
Yeah.
like, here's Cash Money. Cha-ching.
Yeah.
Like, every one of them had a different, like, introduction.
Onomatopoeia to them.
Yeah.
And the guy that was hiding under the desk apparently too.
Yes. He's like,
And then-
he's running for office. He's like, yeah, but please don't tell him.
Between that part and the literal like breakout and they get to like the factory, that is so Wes Anderson-y. Like,
And the dad like talks to the family. Is like, Paddington's like in here with all these rough looking people.
Yeah.
They're not gonna know anything. They're stupid and
Yeah.
ugly.
They're
and
like,
then Knuckles just like, we can still hear you.
Yeah.
Like you just turned the lights out.
What if by the end of this movie, Knuckles shows up only to beat up the dad, just to remind him? Like,
Well,
just to show him who's boss.
Yeah.
As long as the dad doesn't have his fastball buff Biff or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
he'll be
Yeah.
okay.
So, anyways, they break out of jail to go clear Paddington's name, while the family's pretty much cleared up got most of the evidence, but the cops won't take it because they corrupt,
They need
incompetent.
solid evidence.
Yeah.
They need forensic evidence.
Yeah, we need forensics
Apparently.
here. you
Which
know?
I really do like the dad in this movie because again, it'd be so easy for the movie to have the dad be the like, oh, like I'm not gonna.
the good guy.
We're gonna go.
antagonist,
We're gonna
right?
go. Yeah, the good guy
Yeah.
antagonist.
Uh-huh.
But
Which he was in the first one. He was the main
Yeah.
antagonist in the first one,
yeah,
by the way.
But he got one over, and in the second movie, he's not really that. And even then, he's still like kind of iffy because the mom is like, I just talked to the parrot, and he said that
Yeah.
this person actually did it. And the dad's like, you talked to the parrot, huh?
Yeah.
That's what we're taking as evidence.
And it's like, we live with a bear. Yeah, I talked to the parrot. What do you mean? We're talking to the animals on a daily basis.
Yeah,
The dog said you're cheating on me, and I believe him. Yeah, like, where's the line in this universe at this point?
and then they snuck into the Hugh Grant's house.
Yeah.
So then Hugh Grant knows that like they're looking into him and stuff. So
Yeah.
Well, he knows that they're onto him, or he should. He doesn't really act like
No, he doesn't.
is
no, he feels like he's kind
aware
of
of it,
too
though.
into himself to be, like, in on it.
like the only thing he does is verify that they didn't find the book. And
Yes.
after that, he's like, okay, cool, I'm good.
Yeah.
They were
like,
just being
never
idiots
mind
in
the
my
fact
house, I
that
guess.
there were just two people
Snooping around my
snooping in
home.
my house.
Yeah.
The
Now,
owner of the bear that I framed.
yes.
The owners of the bear that I framed.
The ones that have been
Owners? Is
going
that-
around
is that the
putting
right
up
term?
posters of my like costume self everywhere.
Yeah, we're pretty much at the end, but for those wondering where we get to, hijinks ensue and we end up in a train chase with the family and Paddington going after Hugh Grant.
With two trains.
Two
racing
trains.
side by side.
which if you take yourself back for a moment, the second time I watched this, I kind of like took a step back. I'm like, this is like such a dangerous situation for all of Britain because you have
two rogue trains.
You have a teenager
Well, you have a
just
train
driving the
on
train.
schedule,
You mean
and then
J-Dog?
You have,
Yeah.
J-Dog.
Whoa,
What his
no, his
name
name
was.
is Jason.
then
Whatever.
you have a
Yeah.
hijacked train too.
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
other line.
Which definitely is going to get the rest of the family also in prison.
Yeah.
Waiting for that to happen, by the way, because that's illegal. They just skip over that.
But this movie's also, talking about the trains and like them driving
Yeah.
the train. This movie is very much about like establishing and then calling back to
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah, the whole movie
Like,
goes
they
back to all the family's
establish, like,
pros.
oh, he likes trains. He doesn't want to admit it.
She
Later
likes-
on,
she
he
can
loves
swim,
trains.
but
Right.
now
There
he
used to be a
does.
dead-eye shot with
Yeah.
the baseball. At the end of the movie,
saves
he
him.
hits the bad guy with the baseball. Like,
It
all
knocks him
this-
out
yeah.
clean.
Okay, and maybe my favorite part that I'm like, wait, hold up. Thinking about it 1 degree more than the movie wants us to, the grandma grabs the gun and shoots Hugh Grant in the head before she knows it's a little
Yeah.
like
No, he says Hugh Grant says.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that only shoots darts.
But if
Yeah, but she.
she just blasts him
Yeah,
point
she
blank in
goes
the
for it
skull.
anyway.
Yeah.
What if Hugh Grant was
If-
bluffing?
If he
Yeah,
was
no.
wrong, she murders Hugh Grant. Cold blood, no questions asked. And I'm kind of
Could've been
upset.
a very different rated movie.
I'm kind of upset Grandma didn't just get
Paddington might have
what.
been the back burner.
Yeah.
After that moment.
Paddington walks in. Oh.
Oh shit! I'm gonna stay in here for. A
And
while.
then the rest of the movie is Knuckles and the boys cleaning up the train and
Yeah.
and then like being like, well, we'll take this one, guys. You go on ahead. Yeah. Missed opportunity, but I guess.
Did you all enjoy the lead up to the finale of the train, like with them like sword fighting and walking on top of the train with the candied apples?
I didn't care for the family interacting with Hugh Grant. I did think that the candy apples with Paddington was very like
That was cute. It
You-
makes no sense whatsoever, but it's
Yeah.
very cute.
because literally within 10 minutes he's also, and maybe it's because he's running against the train speed versus going the other way, but within 10 minutes of being back on the roof he is casually running on the train with no problems.
yeah.
Whereas to go towards on the train he had to use the sticky apples to get there.
He had to build his confidence up.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
He still
Silly
had some,
bastard.
he had some sticky on him. Still.
Yeah, I guess so.
And Hugh Grant was pretty confident throughout the entire thing.
He just walks on top of the train.
He's murder
He was-
walking
yeah,
to
he
him.
was
Yeah.
never on his back foot at all. Like he was just like, I'm gonna
And
kill this
those
bear.
fancy shoes.
Yeah,
Those like
and those are
wedding shoes.
yeah, those are
They're slip
those are slippery.
falls.
That's because they're meant for dance
And they're
floors.
uncomfortable.
As a Jurassic World fan,
Yes.
what's more improbable? Outrunning a T-Rex wearing stilettos or walking on top of a train with wedding shoes?
Ty.
That's
I mean,
a
if I'm
really
chasing-
hard call. I think both lose.
Yeah, neither one win. It's
Both
just not who can
parties
stay
win.
Neither
upright
should
the
win,
longest.
but if I'm following behind Bryce Dallas Howard, I could see his hesitation to stop the game.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, we just got alerted because Caesar just got very mad at Dobby for
Yeah.
no reason.
yeah, Caesar was
They're
sick
not doing anything.
of Dobby's shit. Anyway, so all the family comes out, saves Paddington.
You think?
Well,
You think they say Paddington?
yeah, I mean they're trying.
Or he
You
died.
think they save him?
or he died and it's an Inception like ending, and he dies in the train and he doesn't ever actually get rescued. That's the,
Yeah, the following.
they actually couldn't get it.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to this bear. He can hold his breath for a
Yes,
solid.
they
They
3.5
all held their
minutes.
breath for a very, very long time.
It was just the mom and him.
The mom makes sense because she's like swimming to London, right? Or
Yes.
swimming to Paris or France.
Maybe
or
it's just because he's a bear.
Yeah,
Are they known for their lungs?
they are known for being underwater for exterior.
Polar bears? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, the movie made it
Polar bears
apparent,
dead.
like we knew he was in that carriage with it locked at both ends. It goes into the water by itself, and at that point, I'm thinking,
Wow,
like,
they really
wow,
just killed the bear.
they could be going for it. Then it shows the water going up in the carriage. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then it shows him underwater, and then the mom comes down because she dives off of a 100-foot
The bridge? Yeah.
or something.
Pretty serious, bridge.
Pretty serious.
Pretty serious bridge, and they both try getting it, and then they lock eyes with each other finally.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? No, I don't care. I know this is a children's movie and it's not going to happen.
Little paw.
And then it does that extra shot
The paw
with
through
his
the-
little paw reaching through the chain. And that's when Kelly saw me on the airplane when I was watching this the first time, and I did shed a tear. 'Cause I was
Yeah.
like, this shouldn't get me, but it does.
Don't do this. Don't do this to this very cute
Yeah,
bear.
but we already knew Knuckles He was on his way back.
I didn't know how
Like,
he was
he
going to
did-
get the plane into the water though until you find
The
out.
timing makes no sense, which it's not supposed to.
That's
It
fine.
doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
Think less about this movie.
But
so the
like
director-
I shed the single tear, and that's like a half second later. Knuckles and the boys show
Yeah.
up.
And they just rip through the chain even underwater. Because,
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, you've seen Brendan Gleeson. I believe he can do it.
Yeah,
I
think
do
so,
too.
Yeah. This guy in Bruges
I mean,
kills
that-
people. Which my headcanon, by the way, is that In Bruges is in fact the
The same
prequel or sequel in
universe.
the same universe
Yeah,
of
for sure, it's the
Paddington.
same
Oh, and,
universe.
and
Yeah.
he has no qualms about cutting his fingers off, like
None.
doing anything. Like he'll go all the way.
0,
will.
100%. So what an interesting sequel to In Bruges this was.
Yes, it was.
Who knew Paddington was the franchise to that?
I forget so much of that
the
movie.
foundation of it.
Yeah. So, anyways, we all wrap up with Aunt what's her face, Lisa.
No, well, they get to the house. Everybody's happy.
He wakes up. He goes.
He wakes
downstairs.
up. Yeah, and
He's acquitted.
because he's been like asleep for like 3 days or something like that. Yeah, it was 3 days.
It was 3.
The mom is sitting there talking to him, like telling me she loves him, stuff like that. And then Paddington's like, "Well, I missed Aunt Lucy's birthday," and then the
Lucy.
mom's like, "Oh well, about that. Well, everybody
She's
knows I
gone.
miss
Yeah.
you." And then it shows him like walking out the front door with his hand being held by the mom, and then they're all like cheering for him and stuff. Then opens the door and Aunt Lucy's there.
Whoa!
To be fair, how long do you think was Aunt Lucy was outside that door? You know, because like they're like,
they
hold
waited
on.
for him to wake up.
Yeah.
before
For
they-
3 days.
Yeah. So like, has she been there for 2 days plus at that point, or do you think she like just got there?
She must have just got there. I mean, come on, this movie's
She,
this movie's like
if she
convenience.
did,
Yeah.
if
it's
she
all
did
about
just get there,
convenience.
like kudos to her. Like she never even been in the city. Like she had to navigate the.
Oh, somebody
interaction.
came to pick her up.
You think so?
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
You think she just got out of the cab and it drove off?
It was.
Yeah, somebody helped her get around. I
Yeah.
mean, the lady's 100 years old.
She's 100. There's no way she's navigating
true.
London.
But
With
she
all
must,
those
she also
tubes?
loves London, so maybe she, she
Yeah,
she
maybe
knows
maybe
what
she's
to
been there for 3 days exploring London. And then she got
So
there.
so did either of those two scenes get you all?
No, that one didn't. That one
No?
didn't. Well, the
I
train
thought
one
that
did.
was
The
like-
Aunt Lucy one was like, that's sweet, but it didn't like hit. It didn't like fire up the emotions. Killing Paddington in a train underwater, I was like, ugh.
That's
I know what
figured
you're doing,
everyone
but
was
I'm
on the
still
edge of their
falling for
seat
it.
Was for the train car underwater. It
Yeah.
was like the suspenseful moment. That's as much as I was figuring. Like,
But
oh yeah,
also,
sure.
you know it's not gonna go bad.
I know it's not, and
You know
listen.
it's not, but it just does such a good
There's
job.
literally a
of
Paddington 3 in production right now.
Yeah,
It's
but I don't
coming
know
out
if that's
next
not following
year.
Aunt Lisa now mourning Paddington and it's her getting her revenge
Oh, you
against Hugh Grant in
think they
jail.
adopted another little cub floating down the river?
Yeah, why not?
Maybe. Maybe so. Maybe
Yeah.
Patty's an uncle.
Right
Listen,
so Kelly and I were watching this together, and it shows Aunt Lucy, and Paddington hugs her, and it's really sweet. The music swells, and he's just like, a happy birthday, Aunt Lucy. And then the movie ends, and all of a sudden Kelly cries out, and she goes, "Why would you do that to me?" And she was like sobbing, like
Yeah.
lots of tears.
It was a long day.
It's a cute movie. Like it is cute.
Yeah, I mean it's a good ending.
It's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
And
But there's a cherry
Yes.
on top.
And
which I'll go ahead and say was probably my favorite part of the whole movie was the after credit scene. If it's
It
the
was
dance
up-
number, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
almost my
Choreographed.
favorite part as well.
Yeah.
I love
the
that.
fact that he
it's
has the
solid.
little play on the radio.
Because he's a showman,
Yes.
as he is by
Yeah.
trade, and the whole prison brigade is there, just dancing.
And they
singing
bring out
along.
all these brightly colored balloons
Yeah.
and umbrellas.
and it's the same band.
and everything. It's
And
the
they've
same
like turned
band
into
that
like a
comes up.
mariachi band, I think. Or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Well, and it's what really puts it over for me is not just Hugh Grant performing; it's the facial performances of the prisoners in this play,
Yeah.
because every one of them is full
They're getting it.
full on in. It wasn't
Yes.
just grumpy face like dance; it was like they were so a part of the
The
play.
warden was in it too.
Yeah, everybody was in on this one. Yeah.
I mean, he really had a positive effect on the prison
He
system,
really
for
did.
sure.
Uh,
I mean, look at all the changes that took
Paddington
place
fixed
while
prison.
Paddington.
We need to send more children to prison. I think
Yeah.
it'll fix things.
We need to have Paddington come to America and fix our prison system.
oh, he
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
make it in our system.
Yeah, he'd be forgotten. about.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on. You got Bronson
As
over
long
there.
as-
Yeah.
Bronson.
As long
But
as
yeah,
he
and
brings
they've never
orange
Bronsoned
marmalade.
again after that. They said, "Can we all agree as a people, let's not do that again?" And they have not.
Thank God.
Bronson is very much alive. But
we need to make sure to get to our next segment.
So,
because we
Fat
don't
Thin
wanna
Perfectly
go
Fit,
full on.
because otherwise this video will abruptly end. You know the shape of the movie. Mason, start us up.
This movie was a little bit chubby. I don't think it was too overweight or anything. It was fine. I mean, I've been preaching it this whole time. Like, some of the antics and stuff I could do without. But it is a kid's movie, so you kind of need this, like, oops kind of moment over
Did
and
I
over.
do that?
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta let them know who it's for, and if
But
you're enjoying it, then good.
Luckily, they cleaned that up pretty early on, and I was pretty okay with it from that
Yeah.
point on. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty fit. I think it's weird that we keep calling it a kids movie because, like, in a way, yeah, but also, do you want your kids watching a movie that is meant to make them really sad?
Yeah.
So I do think that the first one
I'm a
is
Is the
millennial
bear
kids
gonna
movie.
die?
Yeah. I want them to know that at any time, at any
Especially
point, their
something
happiness can
realistic.
stop.
Like, I think sad and cartoon is easier for a child to digest than, like,
Oh, the
live
real life
action
description, yeah.
and sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I want my kids to know that you can go to jail for fucking
For
up.
anything.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you see
They
what happened to
gotta know,
Paddington?
And you know what? What happened?
It also teaches kids that the system is unfair.
Unfair. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's-
Oh, you want to
I
steal that
something
candy
like
bar, do you?
Uh-huh.
You remember what happened to Paddington?
Yeah.
He about drowned.
If I ever have, like, let's say a 6-year-old, and I'm like, listen, you're gonna be forgotten in prison if you keep acting up, and you want to know how you stop from kids from behaving. It's not
Well,
hitting
watch this
them.
movie.
It's by telling them you're gonna forget them while they're in prison,
That's what's gonna happen,
because that's healthier.
and they'll believe it.
So,
Shape.
yeah, it's a little chubby. It's not so bad. Like, this is an hour 40-something movie. I feel like an hour 30 is like my sweet spot for this movie, in my opinion. Like, without getting nitty gritty, I'm sure I could find some parts a little less hijinks in the beginning. Maybe some just a little bit less Hugh Grant, to be honest. There's a lot of Hugh Grant.
Ooh,
here.
see, I liked
crazy.
him the most.
I enjoy him, but there's a little too much of him from
That
from my
scene
side.
where he's just talking to himself and all those different accents, like he does the Scottish
Yeah.
accent.
Yeah, you could cut
He
one
did
of
the-
those.
Me, I love that.
He did the gosh, what is that movie called with
Macbeth.
no
Spider-Man.
No.
Spider-Man. When William Dafoe talks to himself as the Green Goblin.
No, that's not.
No.
involved
That's
with
it.
That's
That's
not.
the same
We
thing.
reviewed it.
Spider-Man.
It was the M Night Shyamalan movie, Split. That guy.
Oh,
He
Split.
did the
Oh,
Split
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Not as good, but
Well, that one was
so-
definitely
so-
more honed in on it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie kind of made a name for itself to do that.
Yeah. Press.
As a children's movie, it's very fit. As a 30-year-old man watching it, yeah, it's a bit chubby. Just the slapstick kind of stuff I got kind of sick of. Like, yeah, I get that he's shaving off his hair, and what was the other one? There was another big long
The
one.
laundry scene, that one.
Oh,
the
wasn't
window
too
washing
bad.
is one of them too. He
Yeah,
just
but the window washing was
finishes that
delightful,
out
though.
better.
Yeah, it's more of a
He gets
montage,
naked and
I
rubbing
thought.
around on it. Although by the time he's doing like the giant buildings, I'm like, how much money are you making, Bear?
Dude,
You're
he
making
made
more than enough to buy.
$1,000 right there.
Yeah, that job is easily buying that book.
Seems like a liability issue for the corporation.
Yeah. Well, actually, liability coverage only covers
People.
people. So
Oh.
the bear,
They
you
beat the system.
get him up there. It's a bit.
Suds him up,
Yeah.
throw him off the roof, and
If he slides all the way down,
Let that be an
oh,
answer.
If he lives, just
That's a great
icing on the
idea.
cake for us.
All right,
Just
scores.
give him a couple of suction cup.
Yeah,
candied
just
apples.
candied apples.
Candied apples.
But wouldn't he have to? He would have to like lick them clean afterwards. You know what?
Yeah.
Give me that scene. I'm here for it. Scores, Mason.
So I'm gonna give you a 2 for 1. The first Paddington,
two first.
I do think is more like a 7,
Okay.
just because it's very overly done, but it's okay. You know, you get through it and it's fine. He's just trying to win over the family.
Mhm.
This one I did enjoy more so. I did enjoy the animation styles. I don't think that we touched on that enough to where like they did like 4 different animation styles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did like a
there was a
storybook.
pencil art style.
They did a
Yeah.
pencil and that was probably one of my more favorite things about the movie was, but they didn't really get into those too much. I'll say this one's an 8. It is better. It's not much better, but it is better. This one did have a bit more of a storyline, obviously, and I appreciated that the storyline, though it is prison, took it to a fun place in
Yeah.
prison, right? Like
Not enough movies talk about the fun of prison.
the fun
You're
of
right.
prison when like there was banners hanging up towards the tail end of his stay.
And they were all like putting out little like flower hanging
palm
baskets.
trees, yeah, palm trees, and they made a whole house out of it basically.
Mason's like, if I go to prison, I want to go to that one.
I'm gonna make that one somehow.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it is an 8. I think that it's fun. It's at the end of the day, though, it's still just Paddington. I do get tired of that little bear getting into all kinds of
Into a little trouble.
and he literally just keeps saying, "Oops!" Like it's pretty much just that all the time.
Yeah.
So that I could do without.
The
that.
script, I mean, could roughly be summed up as Paddington makes a mistake, apologizes very cutely.
That's the 4th,
Continues.
5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th book.
Yes,
Yeah.
continues doing more of what he did to begin with.
And I'm there for every one of them.
Yeah. Nathan.
I mean, yeah, it's entertaining. And it tells a story that I think is questionable if I would say it's a children's story entirely. Maybe at 12, maybe a little earlier.
Mm.
I don't know.
Age, not score.
Yeah, I'm giving this.
He's being
12 out of
He's
10.
giving very mellow vibes for
Yeah.
it being 2 points over a 10.
Yeah, so he's like, this may be my favorite movie ever created.
It absolutely is.
I had to not only raise the bar once, but twice.
Yes.
Nothing will ever touch this movie.
Yeah, I think I'd probably give it an 8.
Yeah.
I mean, it deserves it. It's fun. I mean, it's got its moments at the start where I'm not so on board with it, but it gets past that. And a lot of it is just like the anticipatory, like, where is this movie going? Am I going to be annoyed with the constant
The
slapstick?
choices, yes.
And it's not that I'm like against the bear, it's because I'm for the bear that I'm annoyed. Like,
Yeah.
stop making
You're-
him have situations where things go badly.
You're frustrated
That
at this
shouldn't be
damn
happening.
bear.
Quit torturing this very cute bear. Says Nathan.
So yeah, that's my opinion on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll echo. This is an 8. I debated going a little lower, and then I was
That's
wondering.
where I'm at. I'm between a 7.5 to an 8.
I
but
thought about
I'll
going
land at
lower,
an 8.
but I had to ask myself, why do I want to go lower? And it really comes back to the bar is set so high before ever watching this movie, because for the last 5-6 years or so, anytime you've ever asked anybody who's watched this movie, you hear nothing but it is
Praise.
charming, delightful, great, truly one of the best, you know? And it's that effect of like, well, now I'm keep raising the bar higher. Now this movie has to be perfect. And I think that's like not fair to the movie. The movie is delightful and great for a franchise I've never watched. I go into the sequel and I'm just like, delightful time. This bear is absolutely as cute as everybody promised it to be. So the fact that it meets even like remotely what everybody's been setting the bar for, I feel like it's entirely fair for it to be an 8. The bear's cute. Put him back in prison. That's some of my most fun
Yeah,
yet.
put him in a rougher prison. Let's see what he can do in a rougher prison. And then I'll have more fun. Do you think it's a headspace kind of thing, too, going into this movie?
I think so, yeah.
Because, like, I could see you being, like, more frustrated with this movie if you're, like, maybe not so happy going into it. I don't know.
I could see if you're like in kind of a grumpy mood and you go into this movie and you're like, I'm not in the mood for this cute bear.
Yeah,
you know, like
you little fuck.
yeah,
It irks me.
his smug aura mocks me.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
see, I mean, that's what he's trying to show the whole time.
Yeah,
though,
it's
is
true.
that being nice will
You can
make
overcome
people
it.
be nice.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's in a prison full of a bunch of guys that aren't so happy at
Right.
the start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
So,
But he turns
I mean,
them around,
we
they
would
all start
hope
cooking.
the movie could, like, turn you around if you're in a bad mood.
Even the prisoner who's going to kill Paddington is like,
Yeah.
I'm really good at making cakes.
even as he's flying off, he's like, "Good luck, bear," or
Yeah.
something like that. Which I like to imagine that he was just sharpening the shiv, like, you know, because if you
Ready
come
to
back,
kill his next victim.
yeah, oh yeah, because Cash Money was definitely getting it because
Money.
that was not happening. Anyways, I'll just give it a sound 8.
Well, I really love this movie.
Way to butt a
I
button.
had a really good time. Dobby can be my button if I'm going to give it a 10. Am I going to give it a 10?
No.
No, I'm not.
He's
I really enjoyed it, but I mean, it's not a perfect movie for me. But all the praises I said earlier still apply. I mean, when I said earlier that like I'm really impressed that like there were some really cool shots, the music, the score. I mean, even the human actors were pretty good. And the cameos from Hugh Grant and Brendan Gleeson I thought were really good. I really enjoyed them. Hugh Grant just oozed charisma in this role. He just really went all out. Like, he went so goofy for this, and I really liked that. The plot is whatever. I laughed when the movie wanted me to laugh. Believe me, I felt sad when the movie wanted me to feel sad because, man, I was a sucker for at that moment.
no.
And then that little dance number at the end, I think, just caps off the movie perfectly. I want to push this movie to a 9, but I'm going to say it an 8.5. So, almost with the boys, very close, but 8.5.
Can we talk you down to an 8?
No, I'm not gonna make it that uniform.
All right, so audiences are kind of with us. The tomato meter's off the chart. Audiences give it a score of 88%, so right around the 8 category. So you're somewhere a little higher than Bryce, and a little higher than us. You get 99% from tomato meter. Not surprising if you're a general audience watching this movie, you're just like, what a pleasant bear. We watch a movie every week, so I'm kind of like
surprised that critics were like, "This is
a nearly.
This is
a nearly perfect.
honestly, you might as well say it's perfect."
Almost as
Right.
good as Raging Bull.
right.
Oh my god.
So to be fair, if you're, I mean,
Like,
critics have to look at it structurally and say like, this is a kid's movie. How in love am I with like the kid aspect? How much joy am I experiencing in this film? Right.
Yeah.
Joy would probably be like the definitive feeling, and this bear does a pretty good job of evoking
I just
that
wonder
feeling.
how much it's just them being like, well, this punched way higher than it had any right to.
Probably.
Given like the IP that it was.
Yeah, given that
sourced
Paddington
from.
one was like okay at best, but the bear was cute. Like now this is okay. This is actually a fun movie, and the bear is still even cuter. Like I could see the argument for it.
Kelly, what do you give this movie?
9.
Oh, I thought
Nine.
you said 10.
Yeah, and I told you I'd go down 1 because I don't like crying.
Good job. Yeah.
It's no big fish. You know what I'm saying?
It's not.
Yeah. Anyway,
Which apparently is her favorite movie.
I know.
I've learned.
so let's spin this very clearly balanced wheel. Price, you can go ahead and begin.
Ooh, I get to
Yeah.
spin.
That wheel.
He did not like that. It is an arrow, and it is pointing at parody on parody on parody
Yes,
on
sir.
parody.
It's about 3 weeks late. I figured all those arrows would have kicked in about 3 weeks ago.
Is it?
Alright.
Is it epic movie?
No,
Is it scary movie?
no.
Sca-
Nathan, do you have a guess?
would you have Cabin in the Woods again?
I mean, did you say scary movie yet?
Yeah, it's a
He
scary
did.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is Weird, the Weird Al Yankovic movie.
Oh, that's
And-
it.
I'm
I like
thrilled
it.
that you guys get to watch that.
Yeah, that'll be a
Haven't
good
seen
one.
it.
Yeah. Anyways, so make sure to
Yeah.
tune in.
Don't worry, Daniel Radcliffe's in it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we like Daniel Radcliffe
We
here.
do like Daniel.
Radcliffe, Jake Gyllenhaal, Hugh Jackman,
Hugh Jackman.
DiCaprio. We got kind of sick of,
Yeah, I
so
was
not
gonna
including
say, like,
him.
don't get him.
Hardy, we typically enjoy.
Tom Hardy, we enjoy.
I quite
Yeah,
enjoy.
Hardy was a big one.
Some of us more than others. But,
Yep.
anyways, make sure to tune in next time for Just Weird.
I think it's called Weird.
Just are we sure?
Like an Yankovic story. or
Yeah,
something like that.
I was
It's
about to say,
something
I know
like
there's like a subtitle to it, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. Anyway, make sure to tune in next time to watch us talk about Weird.
Weird.
If you want to make sure to keep supporting our content, let us know in the comments below. What did you think? Is the lighting perfectly right for this? If so, let us know.
that.
And
Yes, we need to know.
I know this is like several videos out from when you first made that comment, but, you know, content. You know. Anyway, speaking of content, if you want to know when we put out all that great content, make sure to hit the bell. And Dobby did it at
He
the
barked
same
right
time.
when he did.
He did
Yes.
it on point.
Make sure to hit the bell so you'll be notified whenever we put out new videos. If you want to subscribe, that would be fantastic because I want to get to 69 subs. And then you don't have to subscribe
And
anymore.
don't you worry,
Don't.
rogue
Yeah.
commenter. Those few movies that you put on, we might be putting those on. the
Yeah,
list.
don't worry. Listen.
You talking about the guy that recommended all those ones from the 80s?
From
Yeah.
the 80s,
Yeah.
70s.
Well,
I will be
and then
watching
there-
those.
I'll put at least one of them on
You
there.
will. You absolutely will be.
Yeah.
And there's also the one who is still recommending the Raid 2. We haven't forgotten you from the original Raid review.
I forgot about you.
I didn't. I was randomly
didn't.
going through our comments recently, and I was
Yeah.
like, I haven't forgotten. So, anyways, if you've got some thoughts or movies you want us to put it down there, let us know in the comments. We'll probably get around to it. Seems like something we do. What if we did a whole season of that? More of that
Just
for later. Comments or movie recommendations?
We have so many.
If,
I know.
How can we fill the wheel?
We could fill about half a wheel.
We absolutely could. The other half is just arrows to the video.
I will say the majority of the wheel would be filled with that guy's recommendations.
Yeah,
Of the
that's
80s
like
movies,
four.
so
That's fair.
I would be on board.
Oh
Like
my
that would be
God.
a great season.
Anyway, guys, that's our show. Make sure to tune in next week or next year, whenever this video airs. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I need to see the
Chaotic
wheel.
in here.
Nathan, I watched a
Dobby.
U
Caesar.
movie to the.
Oh yeah, Lady Marmalade was still on the wheel.
yeah?
it was.
Death
Oh,
Race
there's no more.
2000.
Dobby.
Oh, I've seen Death Race.
Have you?
Yeah.
It
It's
is
good.
incredible.
Yeah.